Hello, my friend. Welcome to today's podcast episode. Today, I am going to be talking about the main areas that I am decluttering before school starts. And I don't do these areas all at once. I will kind of think about how much time to allocate to each area, and then I tackle it as we have a free day, or if I have a light workload, or if I'm feeling motivated in an evening after, work and all of the things. But what I really want to do is set up these areas for success so it keeps things running smoothly during the back to school time frame. And I have 5 areas that I'm going to talk to you about today. And I want to start with the first one, which is the most obvious of going through my kids' clothes, their closets, their dressers, and their rooms. This was something that I have already done because I am not one that keeps a ton of clothes in my kids' drawers and closets, but we have a really good laundry system and rotation. And where we live right now, yes, it's still going to be warm-ish when the kids start school, but after school starts in September, it can drop really, really quickly. So I started with doing the kids' rooms, getting those clean. The kids were involved in that, got decluttering to the toys and the books and various things that are in there. Then I went through their closets. Then I went through their dressers. And I always set up a little area of their closet where their new stuff is going to be, their new shoes, their new socks, their new garments of all kinds. And it stays in that spot until around the first day of school. And they're often picking out their first week of school outfits from that new rotation, or I'm looking at some of the summer clothes that are still in really, really good shape that I am going to be putting in with their clothes rotation, just because some of their summer stuff can get really ratty and raggedy and gross. And while I'm not super micromanaging of what my boys wear to school, I do like to start them off with back to school, talking about how we are hygienic and have matching clothes and we care about our appearances. And I just try to start to set them up for success. And yes, now my boys are definitely at the age where they're involved with this with me to an extent. Now, they're boys. I can still pick out new clothes for them based off of what's on sale, where I find certain things at certain timing, and I put it in their closet, and they're just cool to have something new to them. But I am starting to ask them about their personal style, and we do a back to school shopping day where they get to pick out some outfits and their new shoes and various things like that. So the first thing that I go through, and it's one of the bigger projects, which is why I started it more at the beginning of August, is going through their clothes, their rooms, their dressers, their closets, that kind of thing. The second place that I really like to declutter and get really cleaned up is the backpack and shoe storage area. So kind of for us, that is a front closet in our house. There's just times where you're throwing shoes into the shoe bin and it's like those don't fit anymore, or they hate how they fit, or whatever it is. Even a lot of my stuff is mixed in with that. And so I just like cleaning out that area and getting a fresh start. I don't have my kids get brand new backpacks every year for school because just depending on if they have a really good condition backpack, we're going to try to use that one more year. And this is one of those years. It's pretty much turning out to be every other. I know as they carry heavier things and as they are just in more activities and their backpack gets taken to and from more places, this may not apply, but I give their backpacks and the shoes and all of that a good, throw it out or keep it, and then allocate just what we have and what we're going to be using going into this school year. The third thing is the pantry. So I am going to really deep clean and organize the pantry area. And then I'm going to get a good look at what we have, what we need to use up, and what we need to restock for things as far as school lunches or snacks, after school snacks, or convenient things to have on hand, because back to school also has back to school activities, and we're going to have a more full week day runaround than what we are used to. And so I do want to be prepared on that end to have things where it's like, yeah, we've got to have some grab and go snacks. I am going to do an episode. I thought I was going to be doing it on picky eaters, and we may be talking a lot about picky eaters on that episode, but I am going to be talking about do an episode on healthy, well-rounded meals for your kids, because that is something that I'm really passionate about as a certified nutritionist and as a health and fitness coach in my former years of life as well, that I know that nutrition really does impact mood, energy, and emotion. And what we give our kids is really, really, really important. But I'm also not super crazy crunchy with it. I like to have and bring in a really, really well balanced 80-20 mindset for myself and for my kids. And I think that is just really beneficial to bring onto the podcast. So I'll have an episode about that coming up, but I'm going to go through and really look through my pantry and be like, okay, what's been back here that we need to use or get rid of or toss out? What are maybe some things that can be donated, and go through that area, which is also another big project. The fourth area is my car. I am somebody that keeps a pretty well kept car. When people come into my car, they're like, oh my gosh, your car is so clean. And that is because systematically, about 2 times a week, I am picking it up and doing a quick clean down. Now, my husband is the one who does a detail of my car, and he does that for me about once a quarter. But I am the one that's maintaining the day to day and doing kind of a general wipe down of things. I definitely do this on Sundays, but I also try to do this midweek as well, where I'm making sure we have the things that we need in the car. Maybe depending on the season, I'm going to have a blanket, extra sweatshirts, a rain jacket of some kind or something like that. There are a million water bottles in my car. Get those out of the car and cleaned in. And I'm definitely having the boys get into this habit too, where if we're getting out of the car, like grab a couple things and bring them into the house. And then when I'm putting gas on my car, I'm always going through and getting garbage out of my car at the same time that I'm pumping gas. I really want to make sure my car is well kept and ready for the runarounds that we do. Now, this activity I am holding off until we get back from our summer vacation. So this isn't done yet, but this is something where I am going to be making sure and thinking about, what is our day-to-day like? What do we need in the car? What are some essentials that we're going to need for what we're doing in the day-to-day of our weekdays? And then making sure I'm really kind of setting, even if it's 15 minutes on the weekends, 15 minutes midweek after a busy day, I'm just resetting my car. And I don't necessarily have a system of what I do in the car. I've been really finding this beneficial with keeping up with the house, of just setting timers and tackling what I can in that time frame. Setting different pockets of time and just being like, okay, I'm tackling this area. Okay, I'm going to see how quickly and how much I can do of just the downstairs, or, 20 minutes, and I'm going to go after the upstairs and get done what I can in the micro moments of the day-to-day. And that has been super helpful. That's the same strategy that I do with my car. On the weekends, I'm like, okay, 15 minutes, ready, set, go. And sometimes that 15-minute timer does come up and I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to keep going because I'm this far and we don't need to move on to anything else. So I'm just going to tackle it even more in depth. Sometimes I'm like, okay, if that 15 minutes done and this is what I've gotten done, and that's good enough. So just depends. And then the fifth and final area that I'm going to be decluttering is the backpack and shoe drop zone. So think about kind of when your kids are coming home from school or coming from the home from the end of the day activity, like where is it that they're going to be putting their stuff, and how can you optimize that area to just be best for your family? Now for us, this is in our garage, and I know that's not something everybody does. This is an area in our garage, and right now it's got life jackets out there and extra sweatshirts that we wore in the morning and took off in the afternoon, or there's even some like winter gear that's still out there randomly. And do I need to take the rain boots out? Or we're not into snow boots yet, but that's going to come up faster than what I can even imagine. So I'm thinking about like, where is this drop zone? And I'm going to give it a good square one sweep right before the first day of school. So I might even leave this for the first couple days before school. So that's just a nice fresh area. Kids get home, put backpacks on the hook, and that is what we do. So these are the areas that I am decluttering before school starts. I know for many, and because I got sick, I meant to have this episode out earlier than what it is coming out on today, but I hope you still found it helpful. Even if you are in the swing of school starting, I think doing these 5 areas will be really refreshing no matter what. So I hope this has helped you and that you've taken a couple takeaway tips from it. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.